Welcome to Spine and come under the covers with us. Spine is a brand new dating app for book lovers. Our value proposition is Spine is a premier dating app designed exclusively for book lovers, connecting individuals based on their love for reading and shared literary interests. Our innovative platform goes beyond superficial swiping, focusing on meaningful connections that revolve around a passion for books and stories. In Imagining Spine, we embedded design thinking in every aspect of the process to ensure that we created something that was responsive, would meet market demand, and would be a solid business venture that created stakeholder value. The first aspect of design thinking was to really understand the problem we were trying to solve. We know dating apps are more popular now than ever before, and they can be both rewarding and challenging. We also know that traditional book readers tend to be on the introverted side, and while they're emotionally intelligent, it can be a challenge to connect in a world that values quick swipes, looks, and prompts rather than considered and interesting conversations. So we set about understanding our demographic. We did surveys and interviews, and we hung around bookshops and libraries more than is probably recommended, trying to understand the market and the demographic we'd be pitching the app to. In Imagining Spine, we embedded design. Then we set out to define what would be different about Spine. We understood very quickly that for Spine to succeed, it had to appeal to a generation of swipers who were burnt out and sick of playing the app game. We needed to provide an opportunity for real connection in ways that other apps don't, and each subset of readers will have different interests and preferences, so we have to be dynamic. We also knew we had to respect the cohort we were talking to by being authentic about our reading roots. Furthermore, we set out to embrace all genders, locations across Australia, ages, and preferences. What we do know about the landscape of dating in Australia is that 3 out of 10 adults have tried dating apps, with most people identifying personality and compatibility as the most important trait of someone they meet on an app. Relationships that start on dating apps tend to only last for 2 months, and feedback from people using dating apps is that it can limit authentic connection because you'll always be swiping for the next best thing. Then we So we set out to do everything that the other apps don't do. We want to be fun, different, dynamic, and provide opportunity for authentic connection and embrace all readers. There's no reading snobbery here. Instead of having awkward conversations about what is your favorite color or your love language, let's have engaging conversations right off the bat about the books you love and why you love them. We've also done away with boring profiles, instead introducing fun blurbs that describe a person as if they were a book themselves, ready to be taken off the shelf. We didn't want to set people up for failure, so we've made use of intelligent interfacing to ensure that we can make good matches. We also want to set our singles up for success, replacing tired date ideas with fun activities. Spine has been through a lot of drafts. When we first pitched it to an online book club, we gave people the opportunity to be matched simply on which book covers they'd selected through a swiping mechanism. This was a fun activity, but we realised we needed to go deeper. So when we next rolled Scribe out to the public, we introduced a blurb in place of user profiles, and we tested it with a beta group of young Melbourne students. What we found is it was taking too long and people were bored trying to develop their blurb, so back to the drawing board. And now we have the spine that has been built on a strong bed of co-design with a smart interface and tighter algorithms that harness modern AI technology to make considered matches, easy and unique blurb creation, and obviously safety of all users at the forefront. How do you use Spine? Well, I'd love to tell you. You need to download the app. There are subscription levels you can choose, which include a free option and ones that have different levels of added extras. You create your blurb, tell people who you are, as if they were picking a book up from a shelf, and then set your preferences. Are you looking for a loan, or maybe for someone to take home for good? Spine launches into every corner of the internet where book people are. This includes BookTok, which features millions of tagged posts and thousands upon thousands of creators of book content. Instagram is another huge platform, as well as YouTube book reviewers who can rack up millions of views of one single review. We also wanted to have some fun in-person activations in bookstores and work along with publishers for a special Spine-approved tick sticker that could be put onto special book covers. The first page of our Spine story starts with Sarah, librarian and lonely heart. Sarah had the idea for Spine, having worked amongst books for a lot of her career, but also as a student of business and user of traditional dating apps. She realised the kind of app she was looking for didn't exist, so she set out to create her own. What we know about market demand is that 3 million Australians are using dating apps. That is $81 million going into the economy each year. We're also seeing a return to traditional hobbies, which includes reading. In fact, if you haven't heard, reading is sexy again. We have a competitive advantage with online mainstream apps like Tinder, as we offer something more in the way of genuine connection. Whilst we launched initially in Australia, we know dating apps are big business internationally, and we look forward to launching overseas and growing a market. This also supports profit potential, along with a subscription model, which for most users in the age of dating app demographic, subscriptions are their preferred way of purchase. We know there are risks to this new business, including changes in consumer habits and operating in a busy space, which is why constant feedback from our users is so we can improve is essential. Weaknesses and threats are important to consider. In regards to weaknesses, it could be seen that Spine has a niche appeal, but that's okay. We can set about some smart marketing to show that we're inclusive, and it doesn't matter whether you read one book or 100 per year, you can still use our app to develop wonderful, unique connections. We also know that Spine is entering the market as an untested brand in an area where many big name dating app brands are well known. So let's get fun and clever with our branding and marketing. so we can appeal to everyone. A subscription model could be seen as a weakness, as during economic downturn, people may opt for the free option. A subscription model can in fact be a strength, as we have different tiers that appeal to each budget with tangible rewards in each. And for those using our free app, we'll be able to sell marketing space to other brands in order to create shareholder value. We know that the threats to our business include a busy dating app market, but we know that we're different and we're going to appeal to traditional habits and values. There's also the risk of the dating scene changing once again with another pandemic or going back into lockdown. So we've made sure we've built both a great online interface, but we're also living in the now and encouraging people to get out and to meet and connect in person where possible. Lastly, we know we live in a time where personal and data security threats are at an all-time high, which is why we've not taken any shortcuts in creating the highest quality digital platform for Spine. There are always barriers to things, and this includes entrepreneurship. Two have been identified for this particular venture. The first one being liability of newness, which includes early variable business income, as well as government and societal bias for large firms and established businesses. The suggestion within the literature is that a new business may struggle to gain traction when there are already established companies in this space. And certainly for Spine, we know that to be true, as names like Tinder and Hinge are already very well known, and this could lead to a slowness to gain promotional opportunities or collaborations with other brands. But we will look to mitigate this with a focus on corporate social responsibility, demonstrating the heart behind our business and attracting conscious consumers, partnering with many charities to ensure books are made available to communities where they are scarce. A second barrier, and a more personal one, is the fear of taking to entrepreneurship due to the difficulty of abandoning a regular job that has stability and comes with a reliable income. This feels particularly relevant at the moment in the current economic climate. Research shows that if an entrepreneur has a lower risk appetite, then they might have to struggle with taking the leap to start their business. But we know you can't succeed if you don't try. And so we believe Spine is important enough to mitigate risks here and to manage these so that it doesn't inhibit success. Spine is an exciting new app for book lovers to make real connections that will last long after you close the book. Entering a busy dating market, Spine will stand out on the shelf with its clever matching, great user interface, and great in-app and in-person meetup opportunities. No matter your favorite genre, or if you read 10 books or 100 books a year, Spine is ready to make you the main character and help you find your happily ever after.